Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Four Tet album, 16 Oceans. This is the newest full-length LP from internationally known and celebrated electronic music producer Kieran Hebden, aka Four Tet. And now, after what's been essentially 2 decades of music, we are finally getting his 10th full-length album. Truth be told, the past decade or so has not been the most riveting for Four Tet. Not nearly as revolutionary or as groundbreaking as his fantastic folktronica work in the 2000s, nor as captivating as his forays into microhouse on 2010's There Is Love in You. Beautiful Rewind did have its moments, but for the most part it was just so packed with tons of forgettable tracks. Morning Evening was a pretty ambitious project given its 2 very lengthy pieces, but the progressions of both tracks left a lot to be desired. So I was hoping 2017's New Energy would be the last in this faint series of releases from Hebden, but this new one, all it's done for me is make me miss what Four Tet was doing 3 years ago. I guess the record doesn't start off too bad. The track School features some glistening synth passages that are set to some very groovy and patient beats. It sounds part meditation soundtrack, part microscopic dance party for glow stick wielding fairies that are just in an idyllic forest setting. The track Baby is even better with its driving kicks and atmospheric production, chopped up vocal samples that are placed throughout that remind me a bit of Burial, but by comparison Hebden's approach is a lot less dramatic, more calculated. So again, the start of the album is fine, but it doesn't take long for the track list to start dropping these semi-ambient compositions that just really kill the record's momentum. The track Harpsichord features these mind-numbing airy chords that just cycle and cycle and cycle. What's worse is on top of them, Hebden places these really cheap-sounding synthetic harpsichords that they just sound very thin and very fake. It's kind of like I'm listening to some really bad, low-budget new age music. Later on the record, the track Romantics very much sounds like the same thing, but if you crossed it with a bit of Study Beats music. Same thing with the track Green, but if you crossed it with some IDM. Teenage Birdsong, by comparison, has a bit more of a pulse to it, but it's not much better, with an equally numbing set of chords in the background. But now it's topped with these trying to be chill, but actually kind of awkward woodwind melodies that it's like Hebden's trying to make some rainforest beat music. Deeper into the record, we get more stagnance with weird combinations of sounds. For example, the prickly and plucky strings all over Insect near Piha Beach sound completely disconnected from the beat running underneath them. Why are we getting these 2 things together if they're not going to reinforce each other in any significant way? Why not just put really any sound on top of this beat at this point? Something in Sadness is almost as frustrating with its very mushy and aimless and swirling wall of synthesizers topping its beat, but at least it syncs up with the rhythms pretty tightly. For some strange reason, the end of the record is spent dishing out one semi-ambient piece after another. The track 4T Recordings features a very vast atmosphere that is covering these small, passionate vocal runs as they're backed with this very meditative bass drone that is being orbited by some sound effects of birds chirping. The whole thing gets pretty stale pretty fast. I do like the build-up it presents at the very end, but it just bows out immediately after that climax, feeling really, I guess, unsatisfying. This Is For You is so hollow and uneventful, I'm not really sure what to say about it outside of it sounding like what you would get if you took some of the piano bits from Brian Eno's Windows 95 work and just soaked them in reverb and delay. Mama Teaches Sanskrit, the closer of the record, does feature some pretty swells. It is relatively serene. There's some pretty intriguing sound play to the track, but all I'm left wondering is why couldn't any number of much shorter semi-ambient interludes and bits earlier on the record that just feel like filler, why couldn't they have been built out or just featured, I guess, more engaging sounds like this. I'm talking about tracks like 1993 Band Practice, Hi Hello. The only other major highlight for me on this LP was Love Salad, which is the longest track on the record, not by a whole lot, but it somehow feels way more robust than 90% of the material here. The beat on this thing is actually pretty hypnotic. The groove locked me in instantaneously. Meanwhile, the intensifying synth leads of the track remind me quite a bit of the subtle and wondrous progressions all over There's Lovin' You. It features one engaging passage after the next and a pretty decent ending, but it's rare that 16 Oceans excites or stuns in this way, or any way, really, because for me, this was a record that was really unsure of what it was and what it wanted to be. Is it an ambient record? Is it a blend of house or techno or IDM? And not that these styles can't exist under one roof. Certainly they can and have on many fantastic records in the past, but the way they are combined on this project, it's like their most unique characteristics are all canceling each other out. It also doesn't help that much of the sound play, the synth timbres, as well as the compositions and melody writing, I find to be pretty uninspired on a lot of the record too. So this might be my least favorite Four Tet record ever. I don't like thinking that or saying that, but I guess it is what it is. I'm feeling a decent 2 strong 4 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Four Tet, forever.